And I was just watching Melissa Dimmer's blindly choosing her January TBR, and I was like, I have so many books wrapped up. So what I was thinking is we could just take out 10. They're all numbered. Is take out 10. Well, I took out, how many did I take out for January? I took out 5 for January. So if we take out 8, then I'll go find them and then we can unwrap them together, and that will be the video. I thought that could be most fun. So our first number is 47. Ooh, number 50. Now I do have some like reading vlogs planned, so if I pull out a book that I know I'll want in a reading vlog, I'll just pick another number at random. I feel like that seems fair because I'm still like blindly choosing it. Got Destiny on the background. 35. 8 books is a lot. 40. Now I can see 43 from here, and I know what it is. It's that thick book. You see that really big line? Yeah. That's number 43. I only own 4 thick books, and that's A Little Life, Anna Karenina, After by Anna Todd, which I'm currently reading, and Ulysses by James Joyce. Now, whoever said one of the hardest books to read in human discourse could not be read? So I'm not excited for that one. 6. 36. I know what you're thinking, Jess, why don't you just pick another number? I know it's Ulysses, and I know I'm not amped to read Ulysses, but if I don't read it, it will be on my TBR forever, and I cannot have it linger about forever. And I kind of want to like be a bit more studious with it, so like annotate it really heavily. We have number 21, and our final number is this piece of paper. 33. A wide array, I would say. That rhymed. Okay, so these are all the numbers we have. So we have 47, 50, 35, 36, 6, 43, 21, and 33. I'm going to go find these and then I'll be right back. There's something I have to tell you. When I did my 24-hour reading book when I was ill, I picked up a bunch of really thin books and I unwrapped one to read, and the one I unwrapped was Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which actually was number 36, and I pulled out number 36. However, I have books with me that I picked up from Christmas that aren't wrapped, that are either like seconds in a series because I unwrapped them but I haven't read the first, or I just haven't wrapped them. So what I'm actually going to do is to just pick one of those books, and it'll be random, but like we'll know what it is. So the random unwrapped book I'm picking, and will be the first book, well, the first book on this TBR for February, is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Now, I actually don't know anything about this book. God, the text is massive. Okay, I actually don't know anything about this book other than what's on the back. However, it gave me like Order of the Phoenix vibes for the sole purpose of like the house in the street. Because, I mean, if you've read or seen Harry Potter, you'll know obviously the house comes out of nowhere, and I just imagined the house that gets moved, the people will die. I've just like always thought that. So I'm excited to read this, and I brought it back with me from my parents' home for a reason. So let's read that. Now we're going to go into the wrapped books in no particular order because I don't remember the order in which I pulled out the books. So we'll just go from smallest to biggest. First, number 6. Now I know what this book is, because it's the smallest book I own. And the book is Little Women by Louisa M. Alcott. When I was a kid, we had lots of these, like, a set of classics. And you had, like, Tale of Two Cities, A Christmas Carol, all that. And it's the only copy of Little Women that I found. Because there was a copy in the bookshop, but I hated the cover. It was, like, a modern cover. I was, like, not here for it. But there ain't no qualms. I mean, it's the book, you know? So, Little Women. Next, we have number 21. Did I actually put out number 21? Yeah, okay. Next, we have number 21. It is slightly thicker, and my guesses would be a fantasy. I'm guessing a fantasy because the cover feels a bit thicker, and it does feel like quite a dense book. Ooh, not a fantasy. Okay, this is a book I bought solely because the cover was beautiful. And the book is The Book of Strange New Things by Michael Faber. I mean, it was on the, I kid you not, it was on the bookshelf in the shop like this. And I was like, how can I not pick up the book? Look how freaking gorgeous it is. I feel like nothing will ever do this book justice. So it's about space travel, and this man called Peter sort of just, he's on this mission, I think, to correct humanity. I actually have no idea. It is a gorgeous book, and I do buy books based on the cover rather than what they're about. So, he's a big old boy though, it's like 500 pages. So I'm excited to read a book. Next we have book number 33, a bit more of a standard size novel. Ah, yes! This year I wanted to allow myself to just read easy rom-coms. We have Emily Henry's Book Lovers. And I have had this on my TBR since last summer, and I'm so excited to get to it. I think everyone and their nan has read this book but me. I also haven't read Beach Read, but it is definitely on my radar to buy and read. I read You and Me on Vacation, and I think I gave it 4 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm excited to read this. I mean, it's books, it's romance. Is it like, oh, enemies to lovers, or like work nemesis to lovers? I'm going to swallow this book whole. I can already feel it. Next, number 35 is a thinner book. I really have a good variant of sizes for books I own. I can't believe the universe is doing this to me. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. This is a literary fiction by James Joyce, a classic writer. I've not read any of his work, and I would definitely read this before I read Ulysses. It's not very thick at all, but it is, the text is daunting. Like, it even has some footnotes in it. What on earth is February? I've got some books that I'm really excited to read, books I know nothing about, books which are a lot more daunting. But I guess the show must go on. Next is the dreaded number 43. I mean, when you wrap up your books and you have a book this big, you often know what it is. There's no mistake. I mean, I've had this book for about a year now. Bought it for £4.50. And the tag is still half on it because I attempted to take it off. It's hurting my hands already. Ulysses by James Joyce. Do I know what it's about? No. Do I know it has been voted as one of the most difficult pieces of text to read ever? Yes. Also, my old housemate, who was like top in the country for English and history at GCSE level, struggled to read this. It is just under 900 pages long. Like its author, Ulysses exists in a complicated push-pull relationship with its language, English, and its setting, Ireland. Joyce returns to the themes that have preoccupied him in previous works, including nationalism and empire, religion, identity, and sex, in a novel which gloriously brings Dublin to June 16th, 1904 to the page. So, sort of like a memoir. This is fiction, but I'm guessing it's not going to be like a story. It's going to be a bit more inclined with Sylvia Plath, where it's like existentialism and stuff like that. But I'm going to annotate it. I'm not reading a book like this without proving that I read it, so I'm going to annotate it. Oh god. Love that. Number 47 is a lot thinner, and I also know what this book is as well. Because it is one of the only hardbacks I actually own. An Ode to Darkness by Sigrid Sandberg, and it is like a small, almost like a poetry prose sort of like novella, and it is exactly what the text says. It's an ode to darkness. I mean, with some of the other texts I have going on in February, I'm really excited to have an easy, chill read. Number 50, our final book for February 2023 is The Maidens. I bought 2 copies of this, one for me and one for my ex-partner, because we both enjoyed The Silent Patient. I saw them in the shop and I could not resist. So we both have a copy. Oh, I mean, there's not much better than a floppy paperback. I'm so excited. And if you've read The Silent Patient and you haven't read this, this isn't I don't think this is a spoiler, it's just something I found out watching a wrap-up of someone else. The main guy from The Silent Patient actually makes a little cameo in this book, so that is rather exciting. Anyway, so it's about people at the University of Cambridge. It's a society, it's sort of like a murder mystery, but academic, and I love dark academia vibes, so I'm excited for this. I wanted to almost like go through and think about my plans, because sometimes I annotate books and sometimes I don't, depending on the book and what it could mean. Books I think I might annotate this month is The Maidens, Ulysses, Book Lovers, and A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. For different reasons, I'll come up with like a different key or thematics for each book, but for longer books I definitely prefer to. But sometimes you're just reading a book and you're like, I don't want to annotate this, I want this to just exist as it is. And that is all the books I am planning, hopefully, to read in February. The ones I don't read, I might rewrap or just throw back on the shelves, and we'll save for another month. Let me know what you're reading in February, because I could do a little book reshop. My TBR is slowly running out, and I don't know what to do about it. But here's to books, here's to February, here's to the second month of 2023 with successful reading.